It is time for Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Now, you're in my bad books, young Rupert. Good morning.
Good morning, David. Why am I in your bad books?
Well,
Is it my tipping?
Well, you did, actually, which I ignored anyway, and I lost all my money anyway. But, so obviously I was at Ascot on Wednesday, and I missed you. It was very sad indeed.
Well, that's the problem. I stood you up. I'm so sorry, David, but I was quite busy working for the other side and for Talk Sport, so I was heavily involved, and I couldn't nip down to the Royal Enclosure where you were, which I know you were in a lovely place. You were there Wednesday, had a lovely afternoon there, I'm sure, booted and suited, and I missed you in your finery, so I offer my humble apologies.
No, it was, do you know what? It was a fantastic day. I absolutely loved it, and I'm still recovering, to be quite honest. Yeah. many days later. Right, so what's on your list today?
Well, I am going to reflect on the royal meeting, because one of the things that was said when the Queen died was the King interested in racing and Royal Ascot. Where did he see it in his sort of position, really? Could he carry on the mantle, or how would he carry on the mantle of his mother when it came to Royal Ascot? Because part of it, the whole part, you know, the racing's brilliant, and we appreciate that. But the reason the meeting has a sort of extra level of significance is because of the royal patronage. You can't get away from it. So what you have to look at is what did he bring? Well, what we saw, without question, and the reflection on all and sundries, yes, we saw him have that winner on Thursday, and it clearly meant a lot to him. And talking to people at Ascot, he was really engaged by the week and was excited and interested in what was going on. And I think that it stands the meeting in very good stead going forward. We know the Queen is very engaged, but for him to have a winner in his first year after being crowned, the Queen did exactly the same, had exactly the same happen 70 years ago. And you could see he enjoyed being there, because it's a long week, let's be honest. Most people look like that caption of me at the beginning of this sort of section come this morning.
Well, I was going to say after one day, let alone a whole week.
Yeah, and so I think that is quite important going forward. And you saw him there every day. He had runners, and, you know, he was, you know, having a good time. But actually, we know why the royal meeting works, is because of the element of the royal patronage, and that is the significance. And everyone came away thinking, well, the king did seem to enjoy it, because he always knew that it was his mother's show before. He didn't want to sort of rain on her parade, as it were. Well, it's now his show, but very importantly, with the Queen at his side, because she is clearly a great racing fan. I know she was talking to trainers and really interested in talking to those trainers about what they did, how they did it, and for them to have a winner just sort of, in a way, and along with Frankie the Tory, cap the week off.
It was just such a wonderful picture of him. He was ecstatic when he won. And I think also people at Ascot will be breathing a sigh of relief. And I couldn't believe it, quite by chance, that I was standing there with the King and Queen in front of me, and they literally drove past in a carriage. And I hadn't realised how close they would be, I suppose.
Well, I know where you probably were as they came off the royal procession in by the... coming off from the grandstand to the parade ring. Yes, you do get very close. That's the point. If you stand in the parade ring there, you know, if you're in the front row, they're literally 10 feet away from you. And that's the special thing about it. You know, he's coming as a race fan, but clearly there's the pomp and pageantry, and it is a wonderful way for the meeting to start. And I think, you know, he's got to, you know, make sure that he's engaged. We had all, you know, the Prince and Princess of Wales, they turned up for Friday, but again, you know, there's an element of, well, it's great promotion. You know, you couldn't miss her in her red dress. You know, she stood out, but she does it well. And so, and all the other royals were there, and actually hearing Zara Tindall talking about what it meant to them and the family. Because, look, my brother trained a winner yesterday and at a royal meeting, and I know what it means to us as a family to see that happen. For then the King and the Queen to enjoy it, and a horse that was bred by his mother, you know, it would, just from a family point of view, it was a hugely happy moment for them, just as it was for my brother luckily I backed it, to have a winner last night as well at the royal meeting. Whatever race it is, it means an awful lot, and obviously it's magnified when it's a member of the royal family.
Many congratulations to your family as well. That's amazing. What a triumph. Right, what else, Rupert? What else have you got for us?
Well, what else? I suppose, talking of Prince of Wales, him and his the homelessness. Where we're seeing now is him trying to make sure he gives added value. It's not just about opening a plaque, opening something. He wants to see things that have benefit. Just as Kate, Princess of Wales, wants to see her early learning project not just be a bunch of talking heads and nothing happening. He's very keen for a proactive sort of response to his drive to try and help the homelessness issue in this country. Now, of course, you can be verging on the area of getting political, but if he can stand back and just make sure it's seen from a charity point of view and it's just people trying to do the right thing, and obviously you need council help and everything to make sure that everyone is on board with it, but that's something I think he sees as hugely significant for what he's doing going forward, and to make sure that the royal family have a relevance, not just a bunch of talking heads. That actually, and as we've seen with the King and the Princess Trust, that is a very proactive organisation that does help a lot of young people, and in many ways, sometimes without much attention to it. But the homelessness issue is something that, you can't say it's not a bad, this is a good thing, full stop. Let's hope he can make it work and fulfill his ambitions for the project. Yeah,
I think it's such a worthy charity as well. And of course, I know it's very touched him very deeply when he visited a homeless shelter when he was just 11. So yeah, great. I'm really pleased about that. And also, we see homelessness. It's so visible now. I never used to see it, certainly in London, to the extent I now do. Anything else, very quickly, Rupert?
Well, I suppose we just got to. I think the Markles. Harry and Meghan, they seem to be in limbo.
Them? Yes.
Well, we've sort of forgotten about them because obviously we've had everything else going on. But in a way, the week of sort of, the grifters' comments and all these things, they do seem to be in a bit of limbo at the moment as to how they're going to make a proactive move forward. Look, Meghan's got her high-profile agency working on her behalf, but one minute she was signed up for deal and next minute she wasn't. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that is making their sort of strategy of how they position themselves. They've got every right to, but it's not being straightforward. And obviously we're seeing polls at the moment suggesting their popularity is plummeting even further. So they've got their PR agency has got a huge issue to try and turn their fortunes around. But it is possible. Just look what's happened to Queen Camilla. 30 years ago, you wouldn't have, given her any chance of sort of being in the elevated status that she is now. Not that everyone necessarily likes her still, but in the main, her PR is very positive. So the Harry and Meghan PR bandwagon, they need to turn it around. It can be turned around, but they're going to have to play the long game, not the short game.
Certainly right, Rupert. Thank you very much indeed. That's Rupert Bell, TalkTV's royal correspondent. And that was Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.